one thing that you did write about in the book, and that has been highlighted, is Kobe's rape case.
Hmm.
And you had made a TikTok on it saying, basically, if you read the details of the investigation and of the allegations, a lot of it is tied to Kobe and his personality, and there's some awkwardness in there. Can you explain some of that and kind of what you found out from reading that investigation?
Yeah, well, I actually went to Eagle, Colorado, where it took place, and spoke with a lot of people. And it's interesting. Like, do I think Kobe raped this woman? Yes. Do I think Kobe thought he was raping this woman? No. And I know that sounds like a cop out answer, but I don't mean it that way. Kobe Bryant was really awkward. And he was really awkward and actually weirdly inexperienced with women. Like if you told me Kobe had sex with four women up to that point, I would probably believe it. Like three women, I'd probably believe it. Like he was not experienced. And I could see him thinking, oh, she's coming back to my room. Oh, she's being kind of flirty. Oh, I kissed her. Like it's not an excuse. It's bullshit. And like it's ridiculous. And like men obviously need to know it. I'm just saying I could see him being naive and dumb and wayward enough to actually when the police show up later that night being shocked and being like, wait, what do you mean? So do I think he did it? Yeah, I do. Do I think it's possible he honestly just thought they were two consensual adults hooking up? um I do, but I wasn't there in the room, so it's hard for me to say.
What was the ripple effect of that with his relationship with Shaq, and then even in a broader sense, the rest of the Lakers teammates?
Well, the problem with his relationship with Shaq is he said to investigators, Shaq fucks around all the time. And like Shaq, that got back to Shaq, and that was not good. Um, it was mainly an annoyance because it became like it sucked the oxygen out of everything. So he would go to Eagle, have to fly back for games, fly back to Eagle, fly back to games, report late, check in the second quarter. Like it really ruined. Like the one thing about an NBA season or any sports season is you really get into a flow. Now, sometimes it gets really boring, but you do get into a familiar pattern and a familiar flow. And when things like that break up the flow or break up the pattern, it can be very annoying for other teammates. And also, the other thing that doesn't get spoken about a lot, just in sports in general, is what happens in moments like this is suddenly all your teammates are having to answer questions from the media about the shit you've done. So, like, you're Samaki Walker or you're Derek Fisher or you're Shaq or you're Rick Fox. And all of a sudden, you're being asked after games and not being asked about like the 12 rebounds you had against Philly. You're being asked about your teammate and how this is affecting you. And it all becomes a self fulfilling prophecy. Like the media will ask an athlete, is this a distraction? And the questions itself actually make it a distraction. So, yeah, it's a distraction because you're asking me about it 100 times. And then who does the blame fall upon? It falls upon rightly Kobe Bryant because he was the idiot who had either raped or had sex, but she believed rape with a hotel, manager. So yeah, not good.
And then I think there's that story of Shaq making a rap song or something about the whole situation. Was
Oh
that
yeah,
is
he
that
did do
true?
that. He did that on a flight. He made a mocking rap about Kobe when Kobe wasn't there, and teammates told me about it. I mean, look, Shaq was Shaq was lighthearted, and Shaq did not like Kobe. Shaq resented all this nonsense for good reasons. So they weren't happy with Kobe, and there was a lot of like, "We've got his back," but did they really have his back? I mean, they weren't throwing him under the bus, but they weren't thrilled with him.